Kanye West in the past, I would say 6 weeks, has lost about half of his fortune, of his estimation of being worth over $1 billion. And that's because he not only wore a White Lives Matter shirt, but also supposedly said a lot of things about the Jewish community, such as he wanted to name his album Hitler instead of it being called Name Ye. So
wait,
he also had.
I did not hear that at all. Was that real?
Yeah, that was.
Are you sure that wasn't a meme? Because that sounds pretty.
I'm sure that it was. I read a whole report about it, and there was some real shit.
I need
to
check on this
on CNN. Check it out on CNN.
On
it's on
CNN,
there.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if I.
The problem is that I also saw it on Fox, but their tagline was a little different. They were just talking about him being kicked out, because that's the reason why recently he lost his deal with Adidas, which destroyed like his valuation of being worth over $1 billion. Yeah. Yep. He also lost Balenciaga, and he tried to go into Skechers to get some sneakers, a deal done unannounced, and got kicked out of there by the police. My whole thing about what Wayne?
I feel you. What? Don't talk shit about Skechers, man. Skechers is a decent shit.
I didn't say anything.
I know. A lot of people is like, oh man, you couldn't even get signed by Skechers. Skechers got paper. They're $1 million company. Look, man, all the 40-something-year-old Southern Baptist white women love to wear Skechers, man. They are a great company.
I love Skechers,
hate when
dude.
People talk bad. Yeah, man, they're super fucking comfortable. They're just not popular.
I was a New Balance guy myself, but I appreciate Skechers. Mm-hmm. I wear boots
New
now.
Balance has always been dope, though. New Balance literally has always been a dope sneaker. They fell off during the 2000s because, Air Ones was popping, but then they've made like a hell of a comeback. You can always wear what the fuck are we talking about? Kanye West.
Hey, so I pulled up
he hate the Jews.
I pulled up the Forbes article about what you said about naming the album Hitler, and I just want to point something out. It says CNN reported Thursday, citing several anonymous sources. That's a problem there. Anonymous sources.
I think people are scared of Kanye West because he actually does have more power, and I don't know how, but he has so much power in the fashion community that I think that if you went out and was like, this motherfucker wanted to name the album Hitler.
He said that the Jews control the industries, and then if he had so much power, you think he could still keep them deals running, right? It's interesting that he called out the Jewish community, and then the powers that be took his deals away, took his monies away. Did that prove his point?
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Can I jump?
Go ahead, Wayne. Wayne, you go first. All right. Tell me what you think about all of this crazy shit that's happened to Kanye West in the past 6 weeks.
I'm gonna, you already know what I'm gonna say. He said something about the Jewish community. He's no longer a part of Def Jam. Good Music's not a part of Def Jam.
Yep.
Like you say, he lost Balenciaga, Adidas, like all of his deals. His agency dropped him, all because of what he said about the Jewish community. Now,
in that White Lives Matter shirt.
In the White Lives Matter, a couple years ago, he came out and was like, "Yo, black people wanted to be slaves. It was a choice, and
slavery
all this
was a choice.
Slavery was a choice. Shoes was still number one. Albums was still number one. Nobody cared. It was just us who were just pissed off about it, black people. And all Kanye had to do was say, I love Jesus, and come out with this Jesus is King album, and black people just let him back into the fold. You know what I mean? And now he's talked about, he's speaking about the Jewish people, and he has everything taken away from him. If they would have stopped him, and if they would have cared enough about black people, if they would have cared enough about us and stopped him back when he first started saying all that shit, none of this would have happened.
That's a good point.
Pete Davidson shit would have happened. None of this. I'm just saying, if you care about everyone, a lot of shit wouldn't happen, man. And they just let it slide through, and now everybody hates him because of what he said about Jewish people. Why is it that
Wayne, you got to think about the people you can't criticize, right? There's a hierarchy of people that you cannot criticize. So I'm a white man. I'm at the bottom of the hierarchy, right? I can't talk bad about. No, let me say, I'm not talking like socioeconomic or whatever. I'm saying as far as who I can criticize. So right. I can't criticize anybody, right? Because I'm a straight white man. Now, and above me is women. So women can criticize men all day. Now, above women is gays. Women cannot criticize the gays. That's a problem. But the gays can criticize women and men, right? And then above the gays is the trans community. The trans can criticize gays, men, and women all the way down, right? Now, above the trans community is the black community. The trans cannot say anything bad about the black community, but the blacks can criticize the trans, the gays, the women, and the men, right? Now, who's above the black community in this hierarchy? It's the Jewish community, because the Jews can criticize the blacks, the trans, the gays, the women, and the men. They can go all the way down the line, even though majority of Jews are straight white men. So I'm just saying I don't have facts to back this up with, but I'm just saying in your own experience, start thinking about that hierarchy when you look at these situations, and just think about who you can and cannot criticize. As you know, whoever you are, think about who you can and cannot criticize openly without getting shut down, right? I think that's I'm just pointing that out. I just want to say before we get into this, I have no dog in this fight. I have no horse in this race. I don't care. I like Kanye West. I've been a big fan of his ever since I lived in Chicago. I didn't even know about him until I moved to the Chicago area, and just the amount of love that he got, I started listening to his music. Always been a huge fan. Always thought he was a little out there, a little crazy, but I like how he thinks. I like his creative style. I think if he read a book once in a while, he may be considered a genius, but I just think his thinking is unique and creative. But I think he's kind of dumb in some regards because he's not educated enough to be talking about these issues. But here's the thing. In this whole span of time since this has happened, everyone's been criticizing him, but no one has called him a liar. That's something to think about too. No one has said, "Oh, you're a liar." They just say, "You're bad for saying that." But no one said that he's lying. No one has said that, "Let me prove you wrong." They just say, "No, you can't say that." So just something to think about, right?
All right. So let me give my opinion on this.
Why is it? Oh, the hierarchy. How did Jewish people get to the top of the hierarchy to where
because
we
they
can't
have
say anything about them? Is it solely off of Holocaust?
Yes, dude. They have the most trauma, more than slavery. The Jews.
No, the fuck no.
That's how they. I didn't make these rules up.
Okay, that's how they think.
I'm just saying.
Right. I got you.
If you ask people what was worse, slavery or the Holocaust, I guarantee you most people would say the Holocaust. I guarantee it. Right?
If there's no black people around, probably. This is my thing. Okay, I'm gonna be the one that says that Kanye West is a motherfucking liar. Reason why? 2 reasons. 1, we have to understand that Kanye West has a mental issue.
And what is
Can
that?
we all accept that?
What is his mental issue?
Diagnosed. He said this ain't just me and whatever. He has bipolar disorder. He is clinically bipolar. So
and he won't take his medicine for it.
He won't take his medicine, Kyle. And the reason why he said that, Kyle, is because it hurts his creativity.
It probably does.
It probably does. But this man has been off the rails since his mom died. Mm-hmm. And he has been, every couple of years, he says some crazy shit. And he thinks that he's fucking Nikola Tesla. He thinks that he's Leonardo da Vinci of his time. He thinks he's all of these people. And when you look at in history, you read about all these people, they were all fucking nut jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all
absolutely.
All of them was mentally, they were weird. They were touching kids, or they was fucking blowing up apartment buildings, trying to fucking figure shit out. They were bugged out people. So he feels that he's okay to just say whatever the fuck he wants. That's the first thing. This is a mental breakdown that we're experiencing. And no one's talking about that. No one's giving him sympathy. No one's saying all this stuff.
No.
The second thing is this. What he is saying in my community, in the African-American community, is what we all believe about Jewish people. We've been told this shit since we were babies. And the kids before us, Wayne know what I'm talking about. Jewish people are penny pitchers. They run the music industry. They run the movie industry. They run the banking industry. They are part of the Bilderberg group. They're all Illuminati, Freemason, Irish Mason, crazy motherfuckers. They are the reason why this country is the way it is, because they are the power brokers. They have all the money. The reason why I say Kanye West is lying his ass off is because, like you said, Kyle, he ain't read no fucking books. He don't understand history. That shit that I just said about the Jewish people and what he said has been given to us by the Germans and the neo-Nazi party years ago. And that same propaganda is what's being fed to us after all these years. This shit is from the 1910s. They've been saying this about Jewish people, and before that, you know,
it was actually
the Jews killed Jesus.
It was actually
all
before. Yeah, I was gonna say even Shakespeare in Merchant of Venice, the bad guy in that play was a Jewish merchant named Shylock.
Nobody's ever, and that's where that comes from.
Right.
He's a Shylock.
Yeah,
nobody's ever fucked with Jewish people, basically, ever in history of the world, bro.
Except
so that's
when they were first becoming the Jewish people, they were extremely fucked with, right? That's
but
why
as soon as they
40 years in the desert, all this stuff.
Over.
Right.
Yeah. They fuck with Jesus, it's fucking over. It's been over. We don't fuck with them. So as being black in America, you are Christian or you're Muslim, but that's very small amount that's Muslim. Most of us are Christian-based people, right? We was taught Christianity as slaves. They gave that shit to us. That's what we was allowed to read. That was the only book. We all grew up as Christians. Kyle, as a white man, you probably grew up as a Christian. Your mom
my
was
family's
like, go to church.
Italian Catholic, yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like that is, you know, and the main thing about that shit is like at the end of the day, all in the background is like, yeah, we don't really fuck with the Jews. You know what I mean? Like they fucked up some shit. They ain't right. So what Kanye West said, he believes that shit in his mind is real.
And I'm sure
he's pick up a book and he's sick.
And I'm sure he's had experiences in his
life.
life.
Yeah, he's at the top. So he probably met 100 Jewish people that told him no. He like, well, fuck y'all. Why I can't get into the clothing industry? Oh, da-da-da-da. And they Jewish people with Jewish last names. Mm-hmm. So he has his own, racist thoughts about him. So that's my point.
I mean, but is he wrong?
Yes, I think so. I think he's wrong because he's spewing the same propaganda that's been given to us from the Nazis and before that package. It's some type shit. That's my opinion.
Okay, so let's take the propaganda and put it to the side for a second and look at society nowadays.
Okay.
Do you still don't think that they have like a little control over everything?
I mean, they got the most money, so what the fuck? Like, if you got bread in America, what are we? Capitalist society, right? So let's say me and Kyle, we both started a company and our evaluation as soon as we started was worth $10 billion. And me and him both live in Dallas. Guess who's going to come knocking at our fucking door? Politicians.
Bankers,
lawyers. And they're going to be like, hey, yo, how do y'all lean? What because we control this bitch because we got the bread. So we can control politicians. We can control the police department. Like we can control all of these things. And that's the reason why I'm a libertarian. Because one of my beliefs is the more money I got, the more control I have of my community. I can get a park done. I can get a fucking stop sign raised. I can get any of that shit done. You got to have money. They got the money. From what, and that's racist for me to say.
No, here's the thing.
I don't. They got the money. Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's racist to say.
Yes.
I don't think it's racist to say. I think it's a fair criticism, right?
They got the money.
We can point something out that's an observation. It doesn't mean it's racist, right? Now, if we say we hate them because of their beliefs and their heritage, then yes. But if we say, hey, motherfucker, you've got all this money and all this power and you're not helping anybody out but yourself, that's just a criticism,
and
right?
Y'all people, yes.
Right. And I think that's...
But nobody fucks with them, so is that wrong? If nobody fucks with you, Kyle, and you get all the money and all the power, why would you help anyone else? Yeah. If everyone's trying to kill you, beat you up, make fun of your yarmulke.
Yeah, well, they're in the Jewish community. I mean, and it's a big community, man. I mean, it's all over the world. I mean, look at how much money our country gives to Israel, the state of Israel. I mean,
why? Does anybody know that? Why we do that?
It's Zionism. It goes back to what maybe Kanye was talking about. That You know, it is the Jewish state, you know, and I don't give a fuck about Israel, but the rest of the world does, because it's the cradle of civilization, man. That's the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians. Like, that's the holy land. But it makes you think if that's everybody's holy land, then maybe it's all of our holy land. Like, why did the Jews get the motherfuckers control? Why do they get it? You know, it seems like that seems odd. But I don't want to get into the belief system or anything like that. But you're right. I want, like, what about, so y'all are hip hop podcasts, right? Let's talk about the music industry, right? In particular, for I'd say the better part of a century, the black community has been, and black artists have been shunted by the music industry until it was cool. You know, until it was cool to have, you know, black people in the music industry. But even then, like, the contracts they get, the deals they get, it is not lucrative to them as individuals, right? And you see this even in pop culture. Like, I was watching, excuse me, I was watching The Sopranos the other day, and one of the characters is a big Jewish mogul in the music industry, and this black gang comes to him.
That season.
Yeah, the black gang comes to him, and they're like, "Hey, you owe our granddaddy some money, you know, for the deal that you fucked him on." And he's like, "Fuck you." And I don't want. I'll paraphrase, but he said, "We were the N-words before you, right? Like, we were the white man's N-word before you guys were. Like, don't tell me about oppression, right?" And I think that's a big part of it, right? They have been historically oppressed longer than slaves in America, right? Before that,
hundreds of years before that,
thousands of years. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I can, okay, if we're doing the oppression Olympics, they're at the top, right? They got the gold, you know.
But we silver. We right,
y'all, and that's what I was talking about, the hierarchy, right? And the LGBTQ has the bronze right underneath y'all. They're coming for that silver, baby. Better watch out. That's all I'm saying. And here's the thing. We're
getting a little bit too rich for our bridges. You know, we got LeBron and shit, you know.
And that's all I'm saying. Like, I think Kanye could have approached this whole situation in a different way. But I think
he shouldn't be screaming.
And here's the thing. You got to think about, I would love to be a fly on the wall at Kanye West's house. And all his family and all the people that, no, I'm not talking about what he's saying. I'm talking about the people around him, all the people whose bills he pays, and who like, he might, I imagine this started off as Kanye being like, "Man, this Silverstein guy really fucked me on my contract." And all the people in his house who he pays their bills and their mortgages and all this shit, they're like, "Yeah, fuck that Silverstein guy. Fuck him." Oh, and then it escalates from there, right? So all these people around him, I think, kind of shelter him from, like, reality, maybe. And I'm sure, you know, he probably wasn't quite all the way there to begin with, but just imagine the people that he's surrounded by. Like, and honestly, I think he shouldn't have called out the Jewish people. One, he should have probably called out individual people, right?
Name those people.
But even further than that, I'll drop a little conspiracy knowledge on you guys. He should have been calling out the Khazarians. I don't know if y'all know anything about the Khazarian people. They are an old civilization of people that are, most of the Jews today are descendants of the Khazarians. And they are an, like, old school in, like, Eastern Europe, things like that, like old school power families that were the Khazarians. And that's where a lot of that kind of Jewish, the hate for the Jews comes from, is because of the ancient past of this Khazarian people, because they fucked up Europe. I mean, they fucked everybody up, right? And they were getting into the royal families. They were marrying, like, intermarrying, all this stuff. Like, they really had a lot of power. And I'm not an expert in this topic at all, by all means. So, but I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people use the Jewish group as a front for maybe what they actually are, right? And that gives the Jewish people a bad rap. I think a lot of Jewish people are great. Like, we saw it during COVID, right? Like, the Jewish centers in Brooklyn were like, "Fuck this. We have a right to worship. You can't tell us we're not going to go to church. You can't tell us we're not going to have our schools." Like, the Jewish people are very resilient, and rightly so, right? And they're great. They have great family structures, all this stuff. So, I think if he had approached it differently, a constructive conversation could have come out of it. But because he's done this in the past, right? And for example, like the Kardashians, I want to say they're of Khazarian descent as well, like that family.
This is this. I have a question for Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, because Kyle, I think me and you were basically saying the same thing, like. And I think Kyle, I think Wayne, your question was right. Like, is what he's saying real? Because like the point is that yes, these motherfuckers do control, and they're in high positions within a lot of the industries that minority people and poor people chase as their main thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like everyone wants to be an actor, everybody want to be a rapper, everybody want to be a singer, everybody want to be a clothing designer, everybody want to be a model. And you can have hate against the people that are the gatekeepers of those industries.
Yes.
Right.
And if the gatekeeper of these industries are part of one family or they're mostly this ethnicity, you have a fucking problem with that. And
but that's not all that group, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. That's not all those people. So when you say something about Jewish people, that's the whole ethnicity, man.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of fucking people
that you don't know, that you haven't had any interaction with,
right? That are probably poor.
That's the same thing as me, like
going on.
Like if I get robbed by a black guy and then I go out and say
the same thing.
All black people are criminals, that's the same thing, right? And that's not true at all, right? So yes, he is probably
that dude that robbed you.
Fuck that guy. He robbed me.
Right.
But my thing is he's probably noticed this pattern over his time in the industries, and he's in all those industries that you mentioned, right? Hollywood,
everything, movies,
music,
he's in it,
fashion,
he's in it,
all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's probably noticed a pattern of behavior and interactions that he's had, and that probably is a problem that he's seen and experienced, and he was probably right to call it out in some way or form. But as Jimmy was saying, it includes a whole group of people. So he needed to be more specific with his airing his grievances, not just saying the Jews, because that's fucked up. I think we all agree on that, right? But then, so he needed to be more specific and be like, the people who are controlling these industries, and maybe say their name, maybe say give them their names, but that's what he should have done, because it does include a whole lot of regular people who just happen to, go to, temple on Saturdays or whatever. Like that's a lot of people, right?
I think that I really appreciate both of you guys' perspectives. Wayne, I feel where you coming from. When he said that slavery was a choice and all of these things against black leaders, I was like, why he didn't get canceled then? This motherfucker dropped the album 3 months later, and The Read, a very popular urban podcast, said that he's in the sick and shut in list. So when Kanye West does anything, they don't even talk about the motherfucker because he's canceled for life. And I feel like I said, man, he has mental issues, and it's our fault as a society for giving this motherfucker a hot mic every time we turn around. Stop doing that to this man. I don't feel like that's the good thing.
But
now, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the cocaine too, though.
Oh, you think he on cocaine?
Yeah, man. He be a little.
You think he on the cocaine?
You don't think so?
When I saw him with that Balenciaga grill and his lip was all chapped up and stuff. I mean, man, Kyle, the first thing you learn as a black man is that you need to put on lotion on your lips and put it on your elbows. Okay, that's just a prerequisite.
Well, let's talk about
what the fuck is going on?
About the drugs though, because just to drop that conspiracy angle, we all, Jimmy, I don't know if y'all are familiar with like MK Ultra mind control experiments, right?
We all know about that,
right?
Yeah, that's just real. That shit happened.
We know it's prevalent in Hollywood and with celebrities, right? We just saw Katy Perry, malfunction on stage just a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That could be.
What the fuck's up with Katy Perry, bro?
Oh, that could. I think that's the vaccine. That's just me,
bro,
but.
I just thought her eyelash was too heavy.
I know, it was her whole face, dude. She was tripping out. But I'm saying we've seen it with like Britney Spears. We've seen it with a lot of hot celebrities. They do go off the rails sometimes. And I think a big part of that is, one, the pressure of celebrity and being at that kind of status. And two, is the amount of people around you who are trying to rip you off and take your money and get a piece of the action. But also that CIA mind control program that is still very active. And I think more so in that celebrity community, right? And I think that's a part of it. So he might be on some drugs that he doesn't even know he's on, right? He might be on something that he doesn't even know he's on. And I'll say,
I mean, he has so many people around him, Kyle. You might be right.
Right. And you were mentioning earlier about, he's been diagnosed with a disorder and he's not taking his medicine. Well, shit, I've been diagnosed with plenty of disorders and I stopped taking my medicine. You know why? Because the medicine can control you. It can affect your creativity. It can affect your logical thinking, right? And it can really mess you up. I've experienced it. I've gone through terrible mental states, both on and off of this medication. That's why I don't take it anymore, right? So I don't want to necessarily blame him for that. And you saw that a lot on I think Chris Cuomo was like, are you taking your meds and stuff? And he was like, fuck no. Did you work out today? And Chris was like, no, but I take my medicine every day. It's like, okay, but that doesn't mean you're healthy, right? Just because you're taking the pills that the doctor gave you doesn't mean you're healthy, right? And I think that's a lot of the stuff that Kanye thinks and how he thinks, I think it's really important that he gets that message out. I'm not talking about hate for the Jews, but I'm talking about the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the music, all these problems that he's pointing out are right to point out. But this one thing that he says discredits everything else he says. And that's a classic CIA psychological operation. What they do is they will release a little bit of truth surrounded by lies, or I'm sorry, some truth mixed in with lies, and point out the lies to then discredit all of the truth that was put out in the information, right? In the initial drop of information. So, and I also have to think he's gotten a lot of airtime despite being canceled. He's been on a lot of podcasts, on a lot of TV interviews.
Is he everywhere?
I assume something's gonna. I assume he's dropping in. Here's the thing. This is really great marketing. I assume maybe he's got an album coming out soon. And you know what? Everybody's going to listen to it. Maybe he's got a project coming up. Everyone's going to be aware of it. I'm just, from a conspiracy point of view, this is great marketing. Everyone's talking about Kanye West. We are talking about Kanye West. And you know what? On the way home, from the high school, I was getting in the mood. I put on some Kanye West music, just trying to get into the mood for tonight, for what we're going to talk about. And so, yeah, go ahead.
Kyle, I am worried that we are in this society, like the Twitter society, where it's all like, can I troll? Can I get a click? Right? Everything is about clicks. I mean, our podcast, our thumbnails, we're trying to get clicks. Like, our shit is like, you want to get people to notice you because you get more people listening and then you get more ad revenue. I mean, that's just being honest. That's really what it is. But we're trying to stay as ethical as possible and not just grab you in and then talk about a whole bunch of shit. We're trying to have real conversations. Usually the people that keeping it real and that are real people don't win.
Yeah.
I love the podcast he was on. That's Noriega's podcast, Drink Champs. Noriega's a real hip hop head. He's a real rapper. He really done his shit. He been through a lot and he has a dope podcast and I'm happy for the brother. But that was the worst place to put somebody that's going through what we see as a psychotic break.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking at. And I know Kyle, you said that, you on medicine, you don't take your medicine and, cause it, it causes you to have issues and things of that nature. Every person's choice is that. But I haven't experienced you go on a fucking 2-hour rant about how slavery don't matter.
Right.
So
no, exactly.
What you doing seem like it's working.
Right.
If you do, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram and be like, yo, brother,
you good?
I don't know what the fuck going on.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think he has people in his life that, like we said about John Fetterman, maybe he doesn't have people in his life that actually love him and are looking out for him. And maybe, who's that guy on Drink Champs? Maybe that's someone.
Noriega.
Yeah. Maybe he actually does love Kanye and wanted to talk to him and see what was going on.
But he also used him. It didn't help him.
No, I don't think so.
I think that he just let him talk, and that's okay. That's the thing about being a podcaster. You learn as you go along. I ain't go to no fucking interview school or whatever fucking media school. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Did you listen?
We're learning as we go along, but we listening to each other. He let that motherfucker talk for 2 hours. You got to break it up.
Did you listen to the Lex Friedman podcast with Kanye West?
I did not. I seen clips.
Okay, well that was clips. Lex Friedman is a Russian Jew. Like, he is Jewish by descent, not religion, but he's of Jewish descent, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a good podcast because I think it was better than the Drink Champs one because he actually let Kanye talk about. Like, he pushed back just enough to let make Kanye kind of rationalize his viewpoint a little bit.
Right.
And at the end of it, I think it was good for both of them. I think both of them came out of that like understanding each other a little bit more. And right. Lex even started off the show like, dude, I love you, Kanye. Like, I consider you a friend and I love you. And Kanye was like, I love you too. Like, I have no problems with you. And it was, I recommend it, anyone listening to this, and both of you guys too. It's 2 hours. It's, it's a long podcast, but it is worth it because Lex pushes back because he's like, no, that's fucked up, man. Like, that's not okay with me. And then Kanye is like, well, let me explain then. Like, they kind of have this nice back and forth.
That's
and also,
what I'm talking about.
Kanye just, he's all over the place, man. Like, I think when people call him a genius, it's because he is like always thinking about how to innovate and do new things and re-engineer and recreate stuff and make it work better. And he's got some great ideas, but he just is not the best at articulating those ideas and to where regular people can understand it, right? And imagine Wayne or James, if Jay, I don't know what to call you. I call you
just
all
call me
those.
Jimmy.
Jimmy,
just
okay.
Call me Jimmy.
Okay. Wayne's calling you James. I'm like, is that just a friend thing? I don't know.
Wayne, call me Jimmy.
Jimmy,
come on, man.
Okay, so but imagine if everybody in your life, right, your wife, your kids, your family, your cousins, your friends, were like every day, you're a fucking genius, dude. You run this shit. You are the king of the fucking earth, as Kanye said. How much the earth cost, right? That's what Kanye said. Great quote. Imagine if everybody in your life always was saying that, and you're a billionaire, and you're #1 artist, probably of all time, or at least of modern times, and everyone's saying you're a fucking genius, dude. You are so fucking smart, but you've never picked up a book in your life, right? And not that Kanye doesn't make some good points about, like when he talks about how the black community has been treated, he makes some good points about some of those stuff. Yes.
He's in the community. He knows.
So
yeah.
I'm just saying, we have to try to put ourselves in his shoes, as hard as that may be. But yes, you have to criticize it when he goes too far, right? I feel the same way with Alex Jones, right? Like, I like Alex Jones. He's fucking crazy. He says some crazy shit. But you know what? He makes a lot of really good points that have been proven to be true over the years, right? That doesn't mean... Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something about Alex Jones real quick? So me and my brother-in-law back in, like, I would say 2010 would listen to Alex Jones because Wayne, I don't know if you ever listened to him, but he had a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So before he did, InfoWars was all YouTube.
Yep.
So like, and he had like, motherfuckers would take his shit and just like make 10-hour videos, just Alex Jones just talking, and motherfuckers would sleep to that shit.
I love that, dude. I love it.
Yeah, people that's what we used to listen to, like these long rants of him just like doing all of this stuff. So the reason why Alex Jones is important to the conspiracy theorist movement, or I guess that whole society or group, is because he was the motherfucker, Wayne, that got a camera and said, I'm going to film Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know what that is, Wayne, that's where all the rich elite motherfuckers go and worship a fucking owl with a human head on it and a big ass statue in the middle of the motherfucking
and they
forest.
burn a human
real shit.
They burn a human effigy. They're in robes.
You never heard of Bohemian Grove, Wayne?
No. Hold on. Let me keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
And
he was like the first guy to actually do, like, think Rush Limbaugh, but for conspiracies, right? Like, he was the first guy to just do it
radio
and he was a great broadcast. It still is a great broadcaster. Like, he does a good production, a good job, and his information.
I saw that shit, all them weird.
Oh, dude, I just bought some products from him the other day. I've never bought I got the Brain Force. The Brain Force Plus and the Super Male Vitality. I'm hoping it'll make me like a little more like, because if Alex Jones is taking that, I don't care. Say what you will about the guy, but he fucks. I don't care what you say. Alex Jones fucks.
Alex Jones be fucking.
And the amount of energy that guy's got, I want some of that, because he can just go.
He's 25 hours a day.
Yeah. Dude.
I scream all day long on the mic.
That's
no
what
breaks. He'd take a little break.
That's what I want. So I got some of his products just to try it out.
So my point is we gotta start selling that shit, y'all. I swear to God, we gotta get a little bit bigger and start selling all types of shit. But look, my whole point about talking about Alex Jones is like anyone that can be loud and say one right thing or say another thing and people believe in you, they're going to eventually make a mistake. They're going to say something that's wrong. But I just always go back to the fact that, look, y'all, most people have mental illness issues. We have to be kind. You can't say some fucked up shit like I hate black people, I hate all white people, and some shit like that and be like, okay, well, that's fine. You go ahead and say that. No, you need to be like, yo, my G, don't say that shit.
But do it with kindness. Right.
Do it with kindness. And the fact that this is the question I got for Wayne, and then Kyle, I want you to answer too. Do y'all think that Adidas, Balenciaga, I guess Skechers or whoever is right for pulling deals from him because of what he said and because of his t-shirts and whatever he said?
Yeah, they just should have done it before.
When he said the stuff about black people, and the other shit that he said back in the day. Yeah. You just think it was just too early or too late? I mean, Kyle, what you think?
It was way too late. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that if you sign a contract with somebody, that's legally binding, right? So
but you know, I don't know contract. They say if you just say some crazy shit, we're going to stop.
Yeah, I don't know what the contracts say, but here's the thing: they still are going to sell his products, just not with his name on it. They have the rights to all the designs. They've got the Yeezy shoes. They're just not going to call them Yeezys anymore. So I think that's on him and maybe that's what he was talking about this whole time was like he didn't own his shit, and he should have had better people around him to check on that for him, you know, to make sure that he had his P's and Q's all together before he got into these giant deals. And I think the Kardashians, I think they're a family of witches and warlocks. I would truly believe that they practice magic and sorcery. And I think that once he got involved with them, they cast some fucking spells on him because he was fine until that shit happened.
I do kind of,
go ahead, Wayne.
Kind of agree with that. I've always said that Kanye is a product. I said that Kanye is a product of his environment where he is now. So he's just pretty much regurgitating what all those rich people around him are saying. That's what I think. He's not on his medication. He's on a cocaine. And like all these white people are saying, slavery was a choice, Kanye. And people just want you for your money. You're a rich black man. You should be here with us. And now, maybe like you were saying, Kyle, he may have an issue with Jews and he didn't really single one out. So he's talking about all the Jewish people, but it could be horrible conversations that he's having with his people around him. So yeah, I just think it's essentially the same thing that you're saying. The Kardashian is pretty much done it to him. Yeah.
So let me say this about the Kardashians. I don't remember, and since I've been alive or any time in history, maybe Rasputin, but I don't remember a group of people that can take another person from outside, change them into a whole different being, and then release them back into the wild. So Kyle, I
have an example.
Kyle, I believe in some conspiracy theorists or conspiracy theories, excuse me, because a lot of shit is coming out to be true when you start to see these redacted documents and shit like that. And some shit just makes logical sense, right? But that one about the Kardashians, I don't know what it is, but they, to me, are the most racist people in America.
Yeah, they're Khazarians.
Because they changed their body to look like black folk. Fuck black folk
when they're actually
and
Jewish.
Then they changed it back when it's no longer popular anymore.
And they're not Jewish, but they are Khazarians. They come from like Armenia and Azerbaijan, like that area. That area, that's the Khazarian Empire. That's where that's from. So
those motherfuckers are racist. That's all I got to say about that.
100%, dude, 100%. And you talked about a group of people who can take somebody who is seemingly normal and well functioning, take them in and spit them back out. Like a catch and release type of thing, and they're a completely different person. You know who's the best at that? The CI motherfucking A, baby. They did that they did that with Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. They did that with him. They did it with Charles Manson. They did that with him, and they do it with a lot of people, man. I'm saying they're the pros at it. So it's probably been going on throughout history. Like Rasputin's a great example. I think he was using and when I say magic, I don't mean like he was like going like thunderbolt, fireball. Like he's not casting like spells like that. But I think magic is really is real. Magic is the manipulation of energy and willpower. And I think he was doing some in ritual. I think Rasputin was doing. I thought my dog just threw up.
That's okay. It happens. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
They're nuts. I got a little pit bull. She's crazy. But yeah, these I think magic is very real, man, and I think it's it's one of those ancient secrets, right? That the elites are privy to, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think Kanye is privy to the magic. I think he's surrounded by it, and that he's being manipulated by it.
Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that. Something's up with them people. They done a lot. Like Lamar Odom was not smoking crack before he started fucking with them. They ain't smoking crack. Going to
look
the
at
Bunny
OJ.
Ranch.
I mean, look at OJ. Out. That was wasn't that Kim's dad was the lawyer for OJ?
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
So
that,
no,
yeah.
Chloe. They said that it was Chloe's dad. Yeah.
Oh, do they have different dads?
Well, OJ. They say Chloe's OJ's dad. Oh no, I'm sorry. They said Chloe is OJ's child.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what people say.
She's the biggest one out of all of them.
But the Kardashian father was OJ's lawyer, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And best friend. They're like best friends and shit. That's why he was in the movie series and all of that shit. And you see OJ, he's bugging out. Not saying that. I'm just saying like maybe it's just Hollywood and fame and being popular. You know, I always tell people fame got Jesus killed. So this shit has like for real, because if he was just a Messiah and he was just keeping it low key, anybody would have trying to kill him. Yeah. But since he was out there all wild, you know, turning water into wine and shit, raising people from the dead, dude, you can't be all outside like that.
Dude, he was a fucking party animal, dude. He was hanging out with hookers and getting drunk and hanging out, man, and like hanging out
talking about you gang and you can't do all that.
And you know who Jesus said is the biggest sinners? Was the tax collectors, baby. Usury was the biggest sin, and that's called interest payments. Like when you take a loan out from somebody, you should be able to just pay that loan back as is. But usury was the biggest sin, man. And look where we're at now, man. And
that's everybody. Yeah, everybody got all that shit going.
But not to derail from the Kanye conversation, because I think you're right. I think this whole thing is being blown out of proportion, but you also have to look at the timing, right? We're coming up on midterms, coming up on this important election. Mm-hmm. What a great distraction. And what is Kanye connected to? Who is he connected to? Donald Trump, because he wore the hat, right? So now it's like anybody who likes Kanye as a fan or, you know, listens to his music, you're going to be like, oh, well, I probably should not vote for Republicans just because I don't want to seem like I hate anybody. That's what I'm saying. It all comes from a place of empathy and compassion, right? But they don't look at the bigger picture of things. So I'm just saying, look at the timing of this. I don't know. I wanted to vote for Kanye for president. He wasn't on my ballot in 2020.
In your state?
Yeah,
he's only in ballot in a few states.
Yeah,
he wasn't in my ballot. I don't think he was in Georgia either, because I wasn't in Georgia. I was in Illinois when I voted. Somebody else was, though, that I never heard of before. She wasn't libertarian. It was a lady. But my point to basically say is like, and I think we all can agree, let's try to be compassionate with Ye. And let's try to see if we get this motherfucker some help.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is, to me, like Elon Musk in terms of he can say something and everyone listens. And even though we're talking about, I kind of do want to ask a really quick question about Elon.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep.
Guys, what do y'all think about Elon buying Twitter? Wayne, you go ahead and go first.
Man, you know, I know we talked about this before when it was first announced like a few months ago. I think like it's the end of Black Twitter. I think he's gonna let everybody back on. I think I heard he's already let Kanye back on, but he claimed that it wasn't him who let him. Somebody did. You know, he's already fired the top execs. I heard that one of the execs was the person who blocked Donald Trump on Twitter, who stopped him from being on Twitter. So that person was just fired. I don't see the good in it. You know, everybody always talks about free speech. Like, my God, man, not everything. You don't have to tell everybody everything or tell everybody what you think. And I just that's what I hate about social media. It's become, this is what I think, and you got to listen to me, and this is my opinion on everything. And it's fucking annoying. And I think it's going to make Twitter even worse, because there will be nothing to stop people from saying absolutely anything. He'll be okay with that. You know, But at the end of the day, it's still just social media like everything else, you know?
It's a very powerful tool, though. That's the problem with social media. Social media, people believe that that is like the major tool of now politics. It's no longer commercials. It's no longer, going to a politician, going to a rally. It's motherfucking social media, because social media can touch everyone at one time. If you like Donald Trump or if you like Joe Biden, they can have a message and it can be spread. And then that message can be spread and manipulated to their followers, which will go to other followers. So that is the thing about social media. We are a social media type place. We consume everything in bite-sized media outputs, and we will hear, like, if I said something about Kyle on Twitter, like Kyle likes to fucking shoot babies or some shit, and I got video proof of it. Click this link here, and the link is to like some Pornhub site or some shit that has nothing on it. People won't even fucking click the link.
Hey, I gotta refresh real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. So my everything is based off of Instagram. Everything is based off of a TikTok. And most people don't read or dig deep into anything. They just listen to who they trust and then regurgitate that information, and it continues to go on and on. So that's just to respond back to what you said, Wayne, about, the point of all of this. So Kyle, what do you think about Elon buying Twitter?
I think Elon Musk is the Antichrist. I think that I think that he is a shill for the New World Order. I think he's
the cabal.
I think he's involved in all that. I think he's a puppet. He's never actually invented anything or started a business himself. He's just just a face of things. I think this whole thing with Elon, with Twitter specifically, I think Elon was sent to destroy Twitter. I think Twitter needs to be destroyed. And honestly, I've said for a long time that if Black Twitter goes down, Twitter goes down. Twitter will. I'm in political white people Twitter, right? So I don't see black. I'm not allowed in Black Twitter. I can't get there. I don't know how to get there. They won't let me in. I've tried. I can't even find it. So, but I think
we have to send you a tweet.
I think
I send you a tweet. You like, oh, okay, now I follow these crazy motherfuckers.
I think you both make some good points as far as yes, like Joe Biden and Donald Trump should both be allowed to be on Twitter and say their piece or whatever. I think the only real violence that's come from Twitter has been from the left. That's just the examples that I've seen. But I think you should be allowed. I'm a free speech absolutist, and maybe Elon Musk is too. I don't know, but I think you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want in this within the law, like within the scope of the law, right? So, is my mic still sounding okay when I refresh? I don't know if it changed anything. Am I good?
Yeah, you should be good.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I really hope all of this is uploading.
I've been recording audio this whole time as well.
Yeah.
So
cool.
If you guys have issues, I'll send you the backup. Yep. So
that's why I like your setup, Kyle. That's why I like it.
I got you guys. I got you. But yeah, I think I think you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want and let the consequences be what they are. Like if you go on Twitter and say like I hate all black people and I hate all Jews, or I think we should the election was stolen or whatever. I think all that is fine as long as you're not saying we need to go kill so and so at this address at this time, which is illegal to do. It's illegal to do that. But the left has been able to do that, like Antifa groups and things like that. They've literally been able to call for that without any consequences. So it is a biased platform. I think we can all agree to that to some extent, at least by the people who run it and who moderate it. But yeah, I think you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want. And if you don't want to, see that stuff, you shouldn't have, I think the algorithms are a big problem. Because I should only see shit from the people I follow. So if I want to follow somebody who's hateful and mean and racist, I should be able to do that. And they should be able to say what they want, within the confines of the law. I think that's applicable, right? Because you can't go into the street and just start calling for assassinations for people, right? That's illegal. So I treat it, it should be treated as a town square where anybody can say whatever the fuck they want and live with the consequences. If the consequences are you get fired from your job because you said some horrible shit on Twitter, that's fine. You should have the right to do that, right? But So I don't know. I think Twitter is gonna. We'll see what happens. I really can't say. But I do think Elon Musk is one of the antichrists, and I think he's here to destroy Twitter and to bring in like the robot society and like Skynet and shit, and like take us all over with the AI and all this stuff. So that's my opinion. I think he's a front man for the New World Order, even though he claims to not like them. I don't know, but that's my opinion on it. So maybe I'll get my old Twitter account back, because I had a Twitter account in 2020 that was anonymous. Like, it was just an account that I had before I had the podcast and everything. And I had a good amount of followers. And then when Trump got kicked off of Twitter, I changed my profile picture to Donald Trump with a mustache. And I got taken off Twitter for impersonating Donald Trump, or impersonating someone else. So I feel like I should get my account back for that. That'd be cool.
Well, what kind of mustache?
Just like a fake mustache. You know, it was like his profile picture, but with a mustache on it, as if like I was like not Donald.
Okay.
It was like a funny thing, and I changed my name to like Donald Trumpo or something like that, you know, just for the day.
Oh yeah, that kind of sounds like you're gonna get canceled.
And they kicked me out. But here's the thing: everybody was doing it. Like, everybody was doing it, and yeah, it was just like a
joke. It was
a meme.
Around.
Yeah,
it was just a big joke.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen so much child porn and abuse on Twitter that's just allowed to be on there. I report that shit anytime I see it. I actually saw people posting like social security numbers and credit card numbers and bank account numbers and stuff, like just open on Twitter. They're just allowed to do it. And I like report it, and it takes like 2 weeks for them to actually get it taken down. Right. So I think Twitter is extremely fucked up. They hate anybody who's not a leftist. And I think that's fucked up. I hope Elon Musk will make it a place where everybody can feel like they can say what they want and be included. I think also the algorithm, and this goes for all social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the algorithm is the problem, right? Remember back in the day, like you would just see stuff from your friends and not all these random videos or posts or whatever from people or ads.
That was it.
Yeah, it was just like, let me just see what my friends are up to and what they think, or like what this celebrity is doing, because I want to follow. I like their movies. I want to follow them, right? I think we need to get back to that and make it more a little Wild West. And even Jack Dorsey had talked about years ago making two Twitters, like one Twitter that's like what it is now, like highly moderated and, you know, for news and journalists and stuff like that. And then a Wild West Twitter, like having two different Twitters where you can like just go off. Because I think Jack had good intentions when he made Twitter. I think it's one of those situations where you're surrounded by shareholders and other executives who are, you know, pulling on your leg.
Too big.
And that's why Jack just bounced out. He's like, fuck it, I don't need Twitter. I've got all this money with other stuff. So I don't know. I hope he does something with it. But I think at the end of the day, Twitter will be destroyed.
Okay. So a little information about this acquisition. So everyone knows in the summertime, Elon was talking about buying Twitter, but he stopped. And the reason why he didn't want to is because he wanted a report of their estimated amount of bots that they actually had on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So Elon believed that Twitter is 50% bots that send estimate 800 tweets every hour. So if like you want a bot that says, I want to promote Trump, and make Trump trend number one, it'll just send a whole bunch of shit about him, good or bad.
Yep.
Vice versa.
And that's true.
Vice versa.
That's true for a lot of the internet.
That's most of the internet is bots. So there's no way that we can have what was it 150 billion accounts, but we only have like 7 billion people on the planet. Mm-hmm. So where the fuck are all these people coming? Everyone got 16 accounts? No. There's no way. So most of this shit is fake. That's why you couldn't buy sneakers and PlayStation 5s and Xboxes and shit, because of the fucking bots. They took over the whole thing. And that goes right back to what Kyle said about that society of like the robot society. People think it's going to be fucking cyborgs walking around. It's going to be probably augmented people with all their like social media on their face and shit and on their hand and shit like that. Dude, but then it's going to be bots feeding you data and information that is false or what they want you to believe. Yep. That is some they shit. I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie Then or ever seen the movie They, but that's some they type shit.
Well, there's a thing that Elon, which I don't agree with, is his whole push or his thought process to get rid of the bots is to make everybody verified on Twitter, which means you have to submit your driver's license, you have to submit a lot of personal verifying information, which the government would love nothing more than for you to always have your location on and your driver's license uploaded and verified, and then they will always know, like, that leads into that social credit score system that China has. Like, if you're in China and you say something bad about the president, they will come to your house and they will arrest you and throw you away in a hole to never be seen again. But so there needs to be anonymity if you want it, right? There needs to be that. So I don't know if he's ever going to do that. There has to be a balance, right? Because I love having some anonymity on the internet, right? I think we all do, right? You don't want to share your browsing history with everybody, do you?
Fuck no. I don't want nobody to see all them bullets and guns and porn accounts I be looking at. No,
exactly.
I was on Backpage. I don't know if y'all know what Backpage is, but I was on Backpage last night with my wife, though. Wayne, don't try to get me in trouble. I'm on Backpage. I was just showing her. She never saw Backpage. Fuck you, Wayne. I ain't weird. She never seen it.
What is Backpage? I know.
Don't go.
No. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. I want to find it.
Backpage is like Craigslist, but for like
just for hookups, like when they took
for hookers.
They took the personal when they took personals off of Craigslist, it went to Backpage.
Right, so it's like if you want to escort for the night, it's all on there.
On Backpage,
99% of it is the police. So
well, that's like
I don't care what nobody says. Yeah,
that's like what 4chan. Like 4chan is like all anonymous on 4chan.
Basically,
and
yes.
4chan, like you can get some good information, but most of the time it's like some crazy shit. But it's fun, right? Like 4chan. If I want to like wild out, I'll go to 4chan because that's when you can really see the shit that you can't get on other places, right? Like
4chan don't give a fuck about nothing.
Yeah,
you could put almost anything on there. Like I think you can put almost anything on there, everything.
Pretty much anything except like child porn and stuff like that. You can put murder, you can put
sick shit,
animal abuse, all that shit's on 4chan, and it's awful. I hate it, but I think it should be allowed to be. If you want to find it, it should be there, right? That's all I'm saying. I make the choice to go seek that stuff out if I want to watch it, right?
I only have one problem with free speech. Not really a problem. This is my main thing about Elon buying Twitter and us allowing certain people to come on Twitter and say whatever the fuck they want, right? This is it. We have to understand that our society is not mentally capable to handle everything. And some motherfuckers that you tell, like, I want to kill Nancy Pelosi because she's the devil. Crazy. She most definitely probably is Satan, right? But someone would hear that and then go to the house with a hammer. That's the problem. People are not mentally capable enough to control themselves. And we don't have crazy hospitals anymore, right? You can't get institutionalized like you used to unless you kill 20 people.
Right, but is that my responsibility?
No, it is not. But what you say, like in the town hall, just like like when we used to have town hall meetings and shit like that, what you say can affect someone else. So you have a civil and social responsibility to watch what you're saying. Because if you say something to make someone want to act, you won't ever get in trouble for it. But that person that went and killed 30 people will. And that's the problem with having a wild, wild west Twitter, is that you might get a situation where somebody runs up in a school and shoots a whole bunch of kids because they think the kids or the school is being controlled by the cabal.
You know how
they're mentally unstable.
You know how we solve this? We make it mandatory to be a citizen of this country. You have to own a gun. Everybody, like Obamacare, everybody has to have insurance. We need to have the Republican care, where everybody has to own a gun. Everybody owns a gun. And then a lot of problems get solved real fast, right? That's all I'm saying. And obviously I don't truly believe this. It's just an idea. Wayne, I saw Wayne. He was like, this motherfucker. I was like, no, Wayne, I'm not. Think about it. It would solve a lot of problems really quickly, right? A lot of problems will be solved very quickly.
I would say this. Me and Wayne we wanted to talk to you a while ago, Kyle, about do you need a gun? And that was like an episode we did when we first started. It was called Do You Need a Stick? We changed it to Do You Need a Gun? Because niggas, what's the stick? It's a gun. So it's a long gun.
Carry
it's
a metal.
Like
I keep a steel pipe in my car too, just in case I run out of bullets. I got a steel pipe.
Just in case you run out of bullets, you can hit a motherfucker in the face. That's right. I'm with you on that. I have multiple weapons. It's to the point where I even have a gun range membership. So hey, if you're in town, come through.
I can go to the range. Dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole membership. The place is real nice too. So and they have like they have every type of gun you could think of.
Can I ask what club it is?
It's called
is it Frisco Gun Club?
Not Mission Range. It's called Gun Masters.
Okay, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yep. So they're right up the street from me. They're literally 2-minute drive. And yeah, man, unlimited gun range time, all of that shit. I can go anytime I want. So I've been going a lot because I really feel like we're gonna have a problem. But my main thing is that if you give everybody a gun, I feel like everyone does need a gun. But I feel like also back again that people have mental problems and they can't handle it. Because they're gonna go and the first thing they're gonna do is like, quick example, and then I'll let you guys respond. When I was little, me and my dad was walking down the street, and these guys was in an argument. One dude pushed the other one pushed the other one pulled out a gun, shot him in his head. It's the first time I've ever seen somebody get shot dead in the head and see what happened to the back of the head. And how in the movies is like, oh, it's just like, pew, and then he just drops, right? Yeah. No, motherfuckers actually like stand up for a second and be like in shock. The brain is like, holy shit, DMT. Like, and then the particles come out the side. It was fucking disgusting.
It's terrible.
I couldn't believe it. And it happened. My dad grabbed me and just ran. Everybody ran down the block. They were just pushing each other. I don't know if these motherfuckers knew each other. I don't know anything. But I know that it seemed like it shouldn't have been escalated to the point of you getting your head blown off.
Right.
And that's my fear. People are already pussy. They can't fight. They're scared to fight. They're scared of everything. I would be very afraid of me with dreadlocks walking down the street and some white lady have a gun and just pull it out on me because I surprised her and she blow my head off.
No, yeah.
I'm very afraid of
No,
that.
Exactly. It's not
People
an
can't handle it.
It's not an ideal situation. I just meant as far as like an equalizer, it is the great equalizer, right? That's why, like I said earlier, like I work at a college, and there's a lot of young college age women who are always afraid of men or being out at night, and I'm like, girl, go get you a fucking gun. Get a fucking gun.
See,
like then you're good.
I like that.
And know how to use it. That's the qualifier to that statement, right?
It.
Learn how to use it and learn when to use it, right? And that's the thing. Like, I don't know, Wayne, if you have heard this about Texas, but you know, Texas, we have what's called Texas friendly, right? Like most people, for the most part, if you're born and raised in Texas, you're going to be very polite and very kind to pretty much everybody you meet. Because in the back of your, not only to be a nice neighbor and a good friend of the community, but you never know who's got a fucking piece in their waistband. And so you just, the assumption is everybody has a gun, so you don't want to piss anybody off, right? That's kind of the.
But see, then there's the whole thing of all you need to do is piss somebody off. Like small, you can step on their shoe and like, oh, I got a reason to pull out my gun. That's not safe.
No, it's not. But if I also have a gun and you pull a gun on me, I've got a gun on you. Like, do you really want to pull out your gun when 10 other people are going to pull out their gun on you? I mean, obviously, yes,
somebody's getting fucking shot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Shot.
But I'd rather that than nobody have a gun except the government. And then when I tweet something bad about Joe Biden, they come to my house and shoot me. Or if I don't pay my taxes, they come to my house and shoot me. Or, you know, I didn't let my kid be trans because he played with a doll when he was 4, then come to my house, take my kid and shoot me, right? So I'm just saying there's pros and cons to all this. But we should do another
extra extreme.
We should do another show.
It's just off the wall, man.
We should. This is the stuff I think about. I was telling someone the other day, like when I have dreams, my dreams aren't like me flying through the air or whatever. It's like something happens where I have to kill somebody to protect my family. Like that's what my dreams are. It's like I don't have life. Yeah, I don't have nightmares. I don't have nightmares. I have like action dreams of like someone trying to break into my house and me rationalizing, can I pull the trigger? Like, do I have that in me to be able? Because I have guns, and I always think about if I had to use this. Even when I shoot a deer, I shot a deer for the first time last year, and it like. It messed me up. Like I hated it. I loved the experience and I loved the meat that I got and was able to feed my family, but I hated killing that fucking deer. I cried when I killed that deer. I did not like killing the deer.
You're like, this deer ain't do shit to me.
Yeah.
This deer ain't never did. This deer ain't got no beef.
Exactly.
They ain't from a different gang sets.
Exactly.
There's no reason for me to go and shoot this deer. But at the same time, you're going to eat a deer sandwich at a restaurant. How you think that shit got there?
Right.
It didn't get there because the deer was like, just kill me. No.
And I know that's a different thing, but that's what I'm like. That's what I think about is like, oh, could I do it? Would I have it in me to do it to protect myself and the people around me and my family, right? And that's the other thing too. Like I had a lady freak out one time, like at a restaurant or something, because she saw a guy like he was printing, right? She could see the gun in his waistband. She's like, "Sir, you need to leave" or whatever. She was just eating at the restaurant. He was like, No, I don't, ma'am. I promise it. I'm not going to shoot you. Everything's fine, you know? And she's like, well, you know, what if something happens? He's like, if someone comes in there and tries to hurt anyone here, you're all my family at that point. Like when I'm carrying, I'm looking out for you, me, and mine. Like that's all of us here right now, right? So you need to chill out, lady. He's like, lady, I got your, like, lady, I'm here for you.
He's
right?
just spinach. Shut up, bitch. Damn.
Yeah, he's like just trying to eat his fucking
bitch.
sandwich, and she's like, sir, you need to leave. And he's like, lady, no, I'm chill out.
No fucking. First of all, this is fucking Texas.
Yeah, well,
first of all,
and this was in West Texas,
Texas
too. Yeah, this was in West, out here.
Kiss my ass. Like, I don't care where you are. Look, I carry every day. I started carrying every day because I used to not. I used to just have it in the car or some shit like that, you know. Because I have this sense of like shit can happen at any time. But if it happens close to me, hopefully I should be able to like
get to the
protect myself and be okay or something like that. Get to the car at least, right? Now, the reason why I stopped doing that was because of Top's restaurant or Top's Groceries. Because somebody out of nowhere just came in there and just started spraying up the place. And the first person he killed was an ex-cop that was a security guard that had a gun. So I'm like, if I was in Tops and I'm seeing this old lady get shot up and I'm running, she might not be able to run. I can protect this person and myself, you know? And I could stop this motherfucker because that's what happened. He got stopped by people, regular people that had guns, killed. Well, no, actually they didn't kill him. He got away at that one. It was the other one that happened the same day or like a couple days later with another shooting. That was the one at the Chinese.
I work at a university, a college campus, and just a couple weeks ago there was a threat of an active. There was no active shooter, but people assumed it was this guy was walking around saying some crazy shit and being all suspicious, and rumors spread that it was an active shooter and everything.
Active shooter.
And I went to my car, got my because I'm licensed to carry on campus, right? In Texas, you can carry on campuses if you're licensed. And so I went out, got my gun, and you know everything was fine. After a while, no one was hurt and anything. But I was like, oh, I'm never not carrying now. Because what if
that person had came into your building and started shooting people, and you think that that's some psycho shit, like, oh, I'm just bugging, I'm just thinking the worst scenarios ever, but we keep having examples of it happen, and it's scary. I don't know about arming kids, or not kids, teachers. I don't know about having police at the kindergarten every day, but the next time this shit happens, what we're going to do, keep making excuses? We have to have some type of solution. And there's too many guns already in America to be like, oh, we're going to take the guns and shit. People already got them, which you can't. There's too many guns already, so people have guns.
Oh, that's the thing. I'm not a teacher, but I mean, I work with students on a college campus, and yeah, they're adults or whatever. But I carry, and I know other teachers and students that carry on campus. And so, and no one ever tries to fuck with it, you know?
Right. But I think it's also like a little different from elementary college campus and say like a middle or high school.
Oh yeah, it is very different. But I was going to say my wife's a high school teacher, and they instituted a new program where some teachers who are willing to get trained and get licensed do carry, and only the principal and those teachers know who those teachers are. And there are most high schools I've ever, even before all this stuff started happening, most high schools had what they call a liaison officer. It's a police officer from the department who is just kind of at the school at all times and stuff.
1-2 Wayne.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's fine, man. Because, got kids getting into fights and stuff. Like, you need authority to be there and break it up or stop the drugs or whatever that's happened. I think that's important. But when you get to the little kids, man, that is tough. You don't want guns necessarily around little kids, but if you have a place where no guns are allowed, that's what we call a soft target, right? There's no nothing stopping an attacker from doing as much damage as possible, right? And what we saw from the Uvalde was a complete failure by the police response. Like, they just stood there for 2 hours and didn't do nothing, So we got a bunch of pussies into the police department. You signed up for that. You signed up for that. You signed up to get shot, dude.
You got to put your life on the line. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so that's what I'm saying, man.
It's babies, man.
Yeah,
it's little babies.
They went and got their own kids.
Blow this motherfucker's head
they
off.
went and got their own kids and let everyone else's kids. I mean, that's fucked up, man. Go in there. You're wearing plates. Unless he gets you in the head, you're gonna be all right. And put the motherfucker down. And that's the other thing too. When my wife was talking about the teachers at the high school carrying, and maybe I was talking to someone else, but it was like, these a lot of times the school shooters are kids, like under 18, 16-year-olds or whatever. Could you shoot a 16-year-old? Like, could you bring yourself to do that? That's something you got to think about.
I could.
No, I know.
If they had like AK in their hand, and
I know, right? You're like, oh, this motherfucker.
No, but just
Rambo.
the mental process of like, I would have to kill a kid to save other
That's
kids.
also hard. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Right. That's hard.
And Wayne, you're calling me wild, and you're like, oh yeah, I'd shoot a motherfucker. It's like, okay.
No, but it's like that question. Like, if you had the chance, would you kill baby Hitler? And it wouldn't. The Holocaust would never happen. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like, yeah, it's a little fucked up, but yeah, you know what I mean? Because and I feel the same way about the school issue too, man. I don't know. I would definitely shoot a 16-year-old, man. If not just because I want to shoot someone or anything, but if the motherfucker was shooting,
that's another clip right there.
At us, yeah, right. If they were shooting at us and I had the gun, yeah, man, I'm going down.
This video is not going to be allowed on YouTube. I'll tell y'all that right now.
Oh Lordy. So I agree that, as a person that's strapped up, I tell my wife all the time, please learn how to use guns. She got her own gun. Like, you got to learn, man. Like, I think that people, and she says I'm too paranoid. Wayne said I fucked her up.
That's what I was going to say.
Wayne said I fucked her up. Like, I'm just letting her know the real deal. Like, you ain't never been robbed. You ain't never had a gun pointed at you. None of this stuff never happened. It probably won't. But if it does, like, you need to be prepared for this shit. Life is real. This ain't no Disney fucking movie. Motherfuckers out here will kill your ass and do stuff to you, and you never even thought it would happen to you. And you can't fight nobody off, man. Everybody think they can fight. Nobody can really fight. Yeah. Like, if you 6'8", 400 pounds, whatever he want to do with you, that's your ass. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, please kill before it happens. But some motherfuckers is hard headed. They're gonna find out. I hope not, but still, Go ahead, Wayne. I'm sorry.
No. It's cool. I feel shit. Never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say now.
But yeah, I just taught her some more of the realistic things and being like, yeah, we should get a gun holster for our car when we're driving. Yes, you should carry. Maybe you should get a purse where it has a gun compartment. Yes, you should have a knife on you, at least some mace. Yeah, let's take self-defense classes. Look. Don't you want to learn Krav Maga or some shit? Learn how to twist the motherfucker's arm if they touch you. I mean, people are crazy, and they're getting worse, in my opinion. Like, for real.
Yeah.
So fentanyl out here, people are losing their fucking mind. So they hopped up off Mountain Dew, running around touching titties.
Yeah.
It's getting wild. So why not? Why shouldn't everybody have a gun?